A man is shot in the face and killed while collecting a business deposit. Find out more in the Bahamas tonight.
In a ZNS exclusive, we talk to the grandfather of one of the missing in central Andros.
And Christmas comes early for some. The Bahamas tonight, the national report starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Every Day.
Police tonight hunting for a suspect who gunned down a man just as he started his workday. Good evening, I'm Kendino Knowles.
Good evening, I'm Keishla Adderley. Police are searching for gunmen believed to be responsible for the broad daylight shooting of a man who was collecting a deposit from a business on East Bay Street this morning. The man was robbed and killed before the gunman fled the scene. Our Janaea Noel Ferguson was on the scene as police began their investigation.
East Bay Street was cordoned off early this morning, blocking up traffic for miles as police conducted their investigation into the country's latest murder. Initial reports suggest that gunmen dressed in a wig robbed and killed a man after he collected a deposit from a Five Points establishment next to the Double Dragon restaurant. Officer in charge of the Homicide Division, Superintendent Paul Roll, explained what transpired during the heist.
The suspect was wearing a red wig and gave the appearance of a female, and so we know it was not a female, but that was his disguise that we used. Occupants of we believe a green Honda Civic pulled up. One male exited from the right passenger door of this vehicle, approached the male in the truck, where he discharged his shot into the truck, striking the victim to the face. He then grabbed a bag from the inside of the truck and exited, returning to this vehicle, and they sped off.
That vehicle was later recovered on Okra Hill. While Roll would not say how police were able to get such detailed information on the murder, it is believed that security cameras might have caught all the action on tape. Roll, however, said they are being assisted with their investigation.
We need members of the public, based on what I'm saying, to come forward with information. You know, we can't really get into the specifics as to where the information is coming from at this time.
The victim's co-worker identified him by his nickname, Shaky. He was found in a white truck in front of the establishment. Meanwhile, bystanders shared their views on the crime situation.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's the poverty that's going on in Nassau. Most of the young folks, ain't got no job.
Ain't no government. Crime ain't no government to do. Crime is something everybody got to get together and work with the police and with all government, whoever it is. That's how I look at it.
Now, if you have any information into the latest murder, you're asked to contact police as soon as possible. Janaea Noel Ferguson, ZNS Network News.
The Central Andros community is still reeling this evening, in particular the families of 49-year-old immigration officer Shane Gardner and 28-year-old Triska Brennan, who went missing exactly 1 month ago. Hunters made the shocking discovery yesterday of what police believe might be the remains of the two. Tonight, Clint Watson shares the emotional story of the grandfather of Triska Brennan.
If a picture painted 1,000 words, one thing will be clear. Adolphus Leiden loved his granddaughter, Triska Brennan.
He was real tough, bad with me and the family, and I just couldn't sleep at all. Both me and kids, them, because she was a really granddaughter to me. She, I think she take me just like her father. Couldn't take no better, and we were pretty close.
It's been a long and difficult journey for the families of Triska Brennan and Shane Gardner. Her 70-year-old grandfather carries a burden his family is now forced to bear. With tears streaming down his eyes, Grandfather Leiden remembers vividly the day before Triska went missing, a moment that drew great emotion.
She come to me, she threw her hand around my neck, She threw her hand around my neck, said, "Granddaddy, what you want for Christmas?" I tell her, said, "Baby, Granddaddy want that." They say, "All I want to see that you all be happy for Christmas."
Leedon says there was never any indication that his granddaughter was in trouble, nor did he notice anything suspicious. He says she has always, in his view, been a good person, and he doesn't understand why someone would do something like that.
When they tell me that they discovered those body, he got to be native. He have to be native from around here, even if they wait with the stranger.
The community has also been impacted by this tragedy. A strong gathering surrounded the airport where the remains were loaded onto a plane and flown to the capital. Leedon says no matter how they try, the holidays won't be the same.
Thank God that we found the body, that we could put a close day, that we will. Can you say, well, we're looking that one day she may walk in through the door, So I could say, well, we get worried.
And even though this community now say they have closure, they also say they're facing a grim Christmas, recognizing that their worst nightmares have now come true. In Fresh Creek, Andros, Clint Watson, ZNS Network News.
Well, Foreign and Immigration Minister, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, is expressing grave concern and sorrow on behalf of his department following the recent findings of two bodies in Andros, which might be those of Immigration Officer Shane Gardner and his girlfriend Triska Brennan. Minister Mitchell said he did not know the officer, but that he was one of two officers stationed in Andros. And while work has gone on uninterrupted, the incident has definitely had an impact on the working environment.
This has been shocking experience for most of us, and to say that regardless of whatever the circumstances are, if you volunteer to be an immigration officer or any officer of the state of the Bahamas and you go and work in some area, this is not something that you should lose your life over. And our country has become so immune to this that one finds it difficult to put in words the true reaction to this. But it is simply very sad, and our thoughts are with the families at this time.
7 men arrested after police caught them with a large amount of ammunition at a home. The incident unfolded around 10:30 last night. Mobile Division Police acted on intelligence and executed a search warrant at a Bimini Avenue residence. The men, ranging in ages 19 to 29, were taken into custody. They're expected to appear in court later this week to face firearm-related charges. In a second incident, shortly after 4 this morning, police conducted a search of a man outside a local nightclub on Blue Hill Road and found a handgun in his possession. However, the suspect was able to escape from police. In the third incident, about 20 minutes later, firearms tracing and investigations unit officers went back to Bimini Avenue where they uncovered a handgun along with a quantity of ammunition.
A police officer accused of manslaughter took the stand in his own defense today, telling jurors what happened on the day he shot the deceased Darren Bethel. Fern Carey has the details from court.
In a sworn statement from the witness box, Police Corporal Nathaniel Challow told jurors that he shot Pinewood Gardens resident Darren Bethel because he was in fear for his life and believed Bethel was trying to knock him down. Challow also rejected suggestions from the prosecution that he was just trigger-happy, explaining that he fired a single shot from his revolver in keeping with his training, which dictates that you protect yourself when your life is in danger. And when pressed, Challow admitted that he is sorry Darren Bethel died. However, he told jurors if he had not used force by firing the shot, he would probably have died. Shallow is accused of killing Bethel during a police-involved shooting in Pinewood Gardens on March 27th of 2006. Meantime, the prosecution closed its case Monday, and following closing submissions from both sides, Senior Justice John Isaacs will sum up the case and direct jurors on the law. Shallow's fate will then be in the hands of the jury. Brian Carey, ZNS Network News.
Well, we have an update on that story. After summation and a late afternoon deliberation, the jury eventually found Shallow not guilty.
In our first look at weather, we have a front boundary near northern Florida. It is moving slowly towards the southeast, but outside of our studios, we have a few clouds, temperatures 78 degrees, relative humidity 70%. Your winds out of the east-southeast at 10 knots, barometric pressure 1,021.4 millibars, that's 30.16 inches, and it is steady. But stay tuned. Temperatures around the Family Violence, travel, and boating forecast is still to come.
It's beginning to feel like Christmas. The sounds of John Canoe fill the air, but now, how to watch and score the parade? Find out.
And gifts for you and you and you. Christmas comes early for some lucky kids. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Lux Men's Warehouse.